Good afternoon and welcome to News Now, where we tell you all the stories that are making headlines right now, and it starts now with the highlights.
The highlights. Members of Parliament have been urged to create job opportunities for the youth in the digital space.
Kenyans, I was very proud to see them at work. Every member of Parliament seated here, and those who are not here, have an opportunity to replicate that.
And President Ruto says the jet he used to the United States of America cost the taxpayers 10 million shillings. Also, residents living at the border points have been urged to be cautious of counterfeit goods.
Welcome once again to this live broadcast. My name is Hibak Said. To start us off, President William Ruto has distanced himself from the wastage of public resources. The president, who was speaking during the annual National Prayer Breakfast, said that he won't allow misuse of public resources. The president used the platform to state that the charter jet he used to travel to the United States of America with cost taxpayers 10 million shillings.
We're going to start with we must lead from the front, tighten up our belts, invest in the places that will make sure that we create broader prosperity. Invest in making sure our dairy is working. Our flowers are working. Our coffee and tea are working. The places that create opportunity for the majority of Kenyans are working. And I promise you that as a steward that I have the privilege to be, we will act responsibly and we will manage the affairs of the country with integrity and with selflessness, so that we can build a nation of hope, that people know that their government cares. Believe you me, there is no way I can spend 200 million. There is no way. In fact, let me disclose here that it costed the Republic of Kenya less than 10 million.
In an effort to create jobs in the digital sphere, President William Ruto has requested all members of Parliament to establish an ICT hub in each ward within their respective constituencies. Members of Parliament attending the National Prayer Breakfast said the digital hubs will create equal opportunities for the youth, which at long last helps in reducing crime rate experienced in the recent past. The head of state disclosed that he was part of the launch of the ICT hub at Ruiru constituency in Kiambu County, which has created jobs for 5,000 Kenyan youth.
Kama serikali ya UDA tulipewa nafasi na wananchi wa Kenya kuongoza taifa hili kwa miaka 5. Niseme rais wetu kwa mazungumzo yake pamoja na mambo ambayo amenena leo, amehamasisha sana kuhusu mambo ya kutengeneza nafasi za kazi, na akasema kwamba wajumbe ama wabunge waweze kutumia nafasi ya kutengeneza ICT hubs kwenye constituency ama kwenye maeneo ya bunge, diposa watu waweze kupata nafasi ajira za kipekee kupitia kompyuta na kupitia mitandao ya kijamii ambayo itakuwa inapewa nafasi kwenye zile hubs za ICT.
This year's prayer breakfast was great with the keynote speaker, and of course the message from the president, the message of hope to the people of Kenya. And I want to state categorically that it is possible. Whatever we have prayed for, the many prayers that were offered today. I know things will change. Already we are seeing the fruits not only of today's prayer but even last year's prayer. So you may not have seen all the parliamentarians because people are on recess, the National Assembly and others are up in committees, but basically there is hope and I'm happy it was well attended.
And so it is very important that they focus on the call. What is it that they have been called to do? What is the mandate that they have been given? So if they get it right at the top, then it wouldn't be difficult for the citizens to be able to come forward and say, these are our leaders and we are proud of them. And so we will wait and be able to work with them because we believe in them.
Still on matters politics, elders from the Kipsigis community in Bomet County have strongly condemned the division witnessed in the ruling party between President William Ruto and his counterpart Rigathi Gachagua, led by Richard Ngeno, the chairperson, said that there has been a trend of politics of betrayal since President Moi's regime, and further, he urged political leaders to settle their differences and uphold unity of the nation.
Sisi kama wasi wa Bomet tumesema tunataka hii uelewano. Vile rais na Rigathi walielewana, waruti kwa ile meza ambao walikubaliana, washikane mkono. Hatutaki shida ile tuliona wakati wa Moi, wakati alipokuwa makamu wa rais. Hatutaki tuone ile shida Ruto tuliona wakati alikuwa na Uhuru. Hatutaki hiyo shida iendelee katika nchi ya Kenya. Hiyo kitu itaendelea mwisho italeta msukosuko katika nchi ya Kenya. Sasa hiyo njia ambayo tunaenda ni mbaya sana kama wasitu. Kwa hivyo tunauliza viongozi wa kanisa, wase, na tunahimiza Ruto asiwache rafiki yake. Tunahimiza naye Rigathi akae karibu na bosi yake. Asifanye mambo mengine yale rais akisikia anaona kama ni sio poa kwake. Tunataka waelewane, tuende mbele. Na wale wafuasi wa kikudiso viwili, msiweke Kenya katika choto mbaya. Msiweke Kenya katika moto. Kwa sababu kila mtu atasema nilisaidia huyu, baada kupita akanikehukia.
Now, in a significant stride towards inclusive education, learners with disabilities in Pokot South Sub-County, West Pokot County, have received a substantial boost within the construction of new classrooms worth 3 million shillings at Sebit Primary School. The initiative, funded by the National Fund for the Disabled of Kenya, NFDK, marks a pivotal moment in ensuring equal access to education for all children, regardless of their abilities. During the commissioning ceremony at Sebit Primary Comprehensive School, retired Major Masden Madoka, a trustee of NFDK, emphasized the paramount importance of inclusive education.
Na tano sio tunaanzia aende nasar ama aende class 1 ama aende class 2. Sasa hiyo ndio nimefurahia siku ya leo, sina maneno mengi, ni kufurahi. Sasa wamama wenye wako na watoto walemavu wamefurahia sana waleta watoto wao hapa.
This is to be able to help this school cater for children with disability that are already integrated in the larger Sebit Primary School Comprehensive School. In total, we have done 200 flagship projects across the 47 counties, but specifically in West Pokot County, we have 5 flagship projects.
The challenges that we are facing as teachers and also the people who are disabled, especially those who are physically impaired. So they don't have, most of them we don't have the facilities like the ramps, they're not enough. Toilets for them are not enough. So, but I know with the time we are going to improve on the facilities. And also parents. Parents have not cooperated so much because we have some people who are still at home.
Moving on, after some coastal counties banned the sale of mogoka, controversy has emerged between some religious leaders and politicians from Mombasa County. Nominated Senator Miraj Abdullahi asked parents to take the responsibility of raising their children, while noting that the mogoka ban will not end the war against drugs in the coastal region. Religious leaders in Mombasa are now demanding colleagues who insulted the senator to apologize.
Jambo ambalo amezungumza jambo la ukweli, na kama amekosea hiyo Sheikh angemuita ama angeenda kwake akampatia naswaha kuliko kupanda kwenye mimbar kumlaani na kutoa maneno ambayo hayakufaa. Wasitumie mimbar vibaya, wawe wanazungumza katika mimbar mambo ya kufaidisha mujtama na society kwa pamoja bila kutangaza watu na kuaibisha watu katika mimbar, katika mbele ya hadhara.
Yule shekhe tunamuomba kwamba amfuate yule mama, amfuate yule mama, amuombe msamaha kwa mimi nimeteleza katika kutoa nasaha katika khutba. Mimi katika kule kuongea nimetumia maneno mengi mpaka nikateleza kuongea. Kwa hivyo naomba msamaha. So akifanya jambo kama hilo litakuwa anatoa mfano mzuri kwa mashekhe wengine.
On the same note, a section of women in Kilifi County have held peaceful demonstrations to protest the lifting of the mogoka ban in the county by Embu Law Court. Led by the chairperson of Kilifi Moms, a local community-based organization, Kibibi Ali, they accused President Ruto of unfairness on how he dealt with the mogoka issue. Her sentiments were echoed by Biria Menza, the chairman of the Kilifi Boy Child Empowerment, who advised the president to rescind his stand on the mogoka stimulant. I beg your pardon.
Watoto wetu wakienda jeshi wanashindwa, mabwana zetu hawasimiki vitandani kwa sababu ya mogoka. Kwa hivyo tuko hapa kuupinga na kuupiga marufuku uuzaji wa mogoka ndani ya pwani, kwa sababu mogoka umeharibu ndoa nyingi sana. Wasituletee mogoka, tuleteeni vyakula, msituletee mogoka, unaharibu watoto wetu.
Viongozi katika eneo ya Embu na Meru waliposikia kwa mogoka mpigwa marufuku hapa pwani, walienda mbio kwa Rais Ruto na wakaomba support, na Rais Ruto akawasikiza kuwapatia support. Tunaomba hivi, Rais Ruto wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, usichukulie swala la mogoka kisiasa. Beba swala la mogoka kama health issue, not a political issue. Sababu mogoka unaharibu afya ya watu wetu hapa pwani. Mogoka unaharibu afya ya vijana wa Kilifi na pwani kwa jumla. Kwa hivyo ukisema kwa mogoka uendelee kuuzwa hapa pwani, unatuharibia na utafanya sisi watu wa pwani tuko na wewe huna haja na sisi, hutupendi.
Watoto wa skuli akijua kipata 100 tuko na kapetika 50 kama mogoka sisi na gomba zake. Ndugu zangu, tukeni ngangari, tukeni gavana wetu Mungaro, tukuheshimu na utawala wako mzuri sana. Wanatujali tushughulikia. Amri yako kusema hatutaki mogoka Kilifi, baki na msemo wako.
Let's move to Nakuru County, where the residents have been called upon to join existing or form new cooperative societies to benefit from cheaper credit for economic growth. Nakuru County Trade Minister Stephen Kuria said the county had allocated enough funds to spur growth of the cooperatives and enterprise development sectors through provision of seed capital for startups. And while speaking during the inauguration into office of the Enterprise Board opening, Kuria emphasized on the opportunities available for the informal sector in the cooperatives movement, urging the border youth and SMEs to take up the opportunities.
The purpose of this board is to help us manage the enterprise funds that have been appropriated by the County Assembly for the purposes of uplifting our businesses in Nakuru County. Today, acquiring a loan and a commercial loan is not cheap. So as a department, that's why we have inaugurated the board, so that we can be able to offer to men and women in this county affordable loans with very few appraisal processes that are going to help them, of course, start and of course grow their businesses.
Sasa hakuna kukopa pesa kwa Shairok. Hakuna hii mambo ambaye ya biashara ya watu kufanya biashara na pesa na wanahujumu hawa watu wengine. So the county now has money, na hizi pesa ni za serikali ili ziweze kusaidia raia wake, wale watu wa bodaboda, watu wa mama boga, wale watu wako na cooperatives, wao watu wote, ili waweze kutoka kwa umaskini. Na kwa hivyo, because the board is here na waziri is here, the cardinal purpose of this enterprise fund is to make sure that the perpetual poverty ambayo imekuwa ikienezwa kwa watu wetu, watu watoke kwa hiyo poverty line, bottom poverty line, na kwa sababu hii ni bottom up, lazima it must be seen to be acting as a bottom up.
As we continue to traverse the counties, residents living in the border of the neighboring Uganda in Western region have been asked to be careful with the products that are sold to them in order to curb the rampant counterfeit products in the country. This is according to the Executive Director of the Authority to Control Counterfeit Goods in the country, Robbie Mbugwa, who says that for the past year, they have dealt with more than 200 cases of counterfeit goods. Robbie noted that the government had employed measures to deal with the vice. The Director of Product Quality Improvement in the North Rift region, Vincent Cheruiyot, has warned companies that have been producing counterfeit products that the law will catch up with them.
Ni kweli kwamba kaunti ya Bungoma na kaunti ya Busia tuko majirani na nchi yetu ya Uganda. Na kama vile unasema, kuna uwezekano mkubwa ya kwamba bidhaa ambazo hazivai kwenye maduka zetu huenda zikaingia kupitia kwa border points. Na vile tunafanya ni kwamba kwanza ni kuhamasisha watu, na diposa tuko hapa Bungoma tuweze kukutana na wenyeji wafanya biashara, tuambie ukweli wa mambo, tuambie ni yapi ambao wanapaswa kuangalia haswa wakati wanaangalia zile bidhaa gushi. Tuko na what we are calling intergovernment agency and approach. Hii inamaanisha kwamba sisi kama wana Kenya pia tuko na uhusiano wa karibu sana na ndugu zetu kule Uganda, polisi wa Uganda, na ile shirika pia linalopatiwa mamlaka ya kudhibiti bidhaa gushi za Uganda. Pia tuko na hiyo uhusiano mkubwa sana.
It's about products in the market that may be having our KEBS mark, and maybe upon testing or upon suspicion by our consumers, they find that the product is not meeting the standards. So there are two scenarios, one of which will be a counterfeit product, where there is a manufacturer who is illegally using our mark, and that falls squarely under the mandate of counterfeits. Alternatively, it can be a product that may have failed to meet our mark, and it genuinely has our mark. So we have a department for market surveillance, which goes around checking on the products that we have already approved. So anytime we find a product which upon testing does not meet our standards, we normally seize those products and we communicate to the manufacturer to do corrective actions so that the subsequent products meet our standards.
Now, Banyan Investment Banking and Hedge Fund, a Connecticut-based digital bank, is set to open one of its branches in Nairobi, which is said to be its first branch in Kenya, with a focus on transformative financial technology in an aim to monetize Kenya's and Africa's carbon credit asset. According to a statement released by the institution, the new office in Nairobi will serve as the fintech's regional headquarters to address the growing demand for digital financial services and digital currencies in Kenya and the wider region. The institution has also announced the launch of Let's Coin, a digital complementary currency designed to empower local communities by enabling merchants, entrepreneurs, and other users to participate in the digital economy.
We invest by heart. We listen to your story, it touches us, we invest. No collateral needed. Because that's our belief we can touch lives.
We started working with the former late Lucy Kibaki in giving information to the persons with disabilities through in HIV/AIDS, mainly the deaf and the blind, because we realized that gap was not covered by many. But after that was solved and working in the community, we realized the problems of people is vast. In our field, then there was health issues, then there's education issues, then there's housing issues.
Prefer to invest into a platform where it can be contacted, it has a base, it has a collateral, and it has been guaranteed. So in that way, to talk about Let's Coin is not been treated as cryptocurrency by any chance. Let's Coin is a complementary currency, and it is a digital barter system, which has been practiced for years and years and years.
Unresolved commercial disputes in the International Chamber of Commerce Court is now over $255 billion, a fact that is holding back Kenyan businesses from globalization as African states still grapple with intra-country arbitration courts. Supreme Court Judge Justice William Ouko now says the alternative dispute resolution is the only solution for this limbo. Justice Ouko said businesses are making losses that can be converted to profits if the cases are solved early.
In order to play their rightful role in ADR processes, many African judiciaries are investing in training judges, magistrates, and other ADR practitioners to improve the quality of ADR services and promote ADR as a viable alternative to traditional litigation.
The best out-of-court decision, agreement, is better than the best court decision. And so I became a champion of arbitration. Instead of being before a judge, why don't I be before an arbitrator?
Very different types of parties choose the ICC rules to resolve their very different types of disputes, and that is the strength of ICC. It is a truly global institution which is equipped to handle disputes arising out of transactions from SMEs as much as transactions from multinationals or states and state-owned entities.
Roughly 30,000 women engaged in small-scale businesses in Kakamega, Vihiga, and Bungoma counties are expected to receive economic training from Absa Kenya Bank in collaboration with the Office of the President through the Office of the Advisor on Women's Rights and the African Guarantee Fund under the Empower Her County program. Speaking during the launch of the program at Masinde Muliro University, Presidential Advisor on Women's Rights Harriet Chigai stated that the launch of the Empower Her County program will significantly help women gain education on business, budgeting and finance planning, savings, and digitalizing their businesses.
The best gift anyone can give you is information and knowledge. The reason as to why we are here as government is to ensure that the young people from Kakamega County and any other county and the women are able to now go into business, because all of us cannot be employed by governments. All of us cannot be employed by the county governments. But we are also saying if we empower you guys, you'll be able to employ other people, and by virtue of that, you'll be able to skill up and support government in the many initiatives that government is putting in place to ensure that young people are employed and to ensure that women are able to stand by themselves, because those are the promises that the government made to its people.
Now, 12 Gikomba traders have moved to court seeking justice on the ongoing demolitions. The applicants moved to court on April 24th, saying that they are making losses caused by the demolitions. The traders, through their lawyer, Dunstan Omari, say their rights have been violated given that they have been in disputed land since 1992. John Kimani, the chairman of the Solidarity Group, wants President William Ruto to intervene, arguing that he promised to protect the interests of the hustlers. Kimani also added that the group is very much disappointed, given that they are the heirs of the initial allottees.
Malilio yetu kwa sababu tukiwa tumegandamizwa na county government kwa kubomoa vibanda zetu,
kutuacha tukiwa hatuna cha kufanya, kwa kuwa tuna watoto wanasoma, tuna maisha, tuna madeni, na sisi tunaomba koti hii itusikize, na tumeona ikiwa na pande yetu, kwa sababu sisi tuna ushahidi kwamba pale wazazi wetu ndio walitupa ile nafasi, ndio walianza pale. Miaka ya hapo awali tumekuwa hapo, na sisi bado tumekuwa hapo tukilipa leseni.
They entered this place around 1936. Their grandparents and their parents, and now these are some of the children who inherited this land. They have been paying taxes and rates to the county government, the local authority then, now the county government of Nairobi. They have genuine licenses. They have been trading here. Every political regime that has come has acknowledged that they have a right to be there. Save that this time, there are individuals in government who want that land, to take possession of that land, to do the same business that these people are doing. And that is what we are going to court.